All right, this will be a quick video. I just want to run through some of the other components we have not talked about. I'm not going to write any code or show them to you in any detail, but I just wanted to highlight some of the ones that you may want to know about. There are some pretty niche ones I won't go into, but the first one, card, is pretty commonly used. It's just a generic sort of content holder, a content container, where we can mix and match. We often use these in the grid system, so we can have a grid of cards. We have the options to add titles, subtitles, images on top. We can add what's called a list group, which is another component I'll show you in a moment. Here's an example with all those pieces together. You can add a special header and a footer. So lots of stuff you can do with them. They're very flexible, and they're basically a box with a border with some special pieces inside, a title, a header, a footer. And they're all optional, but you can create nice grids and display your content nicely using cards. Okay, next up, carousel. Carousel is a bit more complicated. It's how you can make a slider, like an image gallery or an image slider. There's a lot of parameters. You can show the, what do you call those, the controls and the indicators down at the bottom, or you can just have an automatic slider where everything's hidden and the user doesn't do anything. You can add fades versus a slide effect. So behind the scenes, this involves a lot of JavaScript, but the way that you make this work is by connecting your controls. So for example, this right arrow right there is created right, where are you? Right here. Using this carousel control next, you set its data slide to be next, data slide to be previous on the previous button. And then we need to make sure that we're using our carousel class and the slide class, and then something called data ride equals carousel. This is another one like a nav bar where I always have to consult the docs. So feel free to do that. I mean, feel no pressure, hopefully, to memorize any of this, but especially not carousels. So those are useful. Drop-down menus we did not cover, but they look like this right here. So we have different sizes. We can attach them to buttons. They can pop up versus popping down. They can pop right and left. We can have different stuff in the menu. We can have different alignments. There's a lot here. But honestly, I think that's all I want to show you is the fact that they exist. Okay, spinners. Not essential, but nice to know about and super easy to make. Just spinner, and then there's different options. So spinner-grow or spinner-border makes us this rotating round border. There's progress. I don't even know why I picked that one. I almost never use that, but it exists. Then we have modals, which are basically pop-up dialogues. So they involve a lot of JavaScript too. You need to figure out, or you have to specify what should launch it, what should close it if there's a close button. And there's different options. You can make a scrollable one like this, where you scroll in the container, or one like this, where your entire page scrolls. You can center them vertically. You can use the grid system inside of them. So there's a lot to them, but that's all I'm going to show. They exist. So we've seen a lot of Bootstrap, but honestly, maybe 50%. Although if you weight it for what's most commonly used, then we probably saw 80%. So there are lots of niche things, and not even niche things. So, you know, like a drop-down menu is useful, but you may not need it on every single website. And if you do, we have the tools now. Hopefully you feel confident enough just to look at the docs and honestly copy and paste and tweak whatever you need. All right, so I'm going to go away. It's been great talking about Bootstrap.